This is Alan with Tune Army Baltimore. A gooner and a toffee walk into a bar. Decided to do a shit football podcast. You're listening to the DU Football Show.
You know, some things never change. I come back. There he is on his fucking phone typing when we're supposed to be having a back and forth before the show.
Well, you're a professional. I figured you would have something to say, something witty, clever, enjoyable. But I guess not. You need me to be there for you.
It's a back and forth. It's just fuck off. Let's start the show. Hello and welcome to the Drunken United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me is this independent lady, Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing today?
Large and in charge, my friend.
No shit.
Standing on my own 2 feet.
Fucking hell. I go away for a little while and everybody's suddenly all boisterous. Fuck you, tyrant. We got this shit. Even you. You're looking at me with that shit-eating grin. But you too. Everybody, I tell you, they're ganging up on me here. I am simply a kind man that provides for each of you each week. And
Provides, right, okay.
with amazing content and a wonderful show. And you just keep yourself muted. I
just was,
muting.
I thought Graham and I were going to finish our discussion on English royalty.
Yeah, because clearly, when Graham doesn't take, I don't need to take notes for extra time. That's right, because you're doing a show about the English Premier League, and it took you 15 fucking minutes to talk about the English fucking Premier League.
We were having fun.
We're recording at Studio H, just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, share with your friend. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sammy, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chop, chop.
Yeah. Get to it right away.
I know, Jesus. We are at DU Football Show on all the social medias. It's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And DUfootballshow@gmail.com is how to get in touch via email.
Excellent. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirits industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we've got to have a glass in our hand throughout this show and every show. Sammy, we're doing another Game of Thrones whiskey, but this one's got a little extra stank on it. What we drinking?
Ooh, it does have some stank on it, much like Rebecca Lowe. She got some extra stank, if you tuned in last week.
I mean, I do have a really good Rebecca Lowe impersonation I've been working on, except he yells at me every time I do it.
She's teasing our baby. She's teasing our baby.
Yeah, he doesn't appreciate it.
Alan wouldn't appreciate it either.
I don't know if I want to hear it.
No.
I'm not allowed.
Why are you handing me your water?
Because your voice sounds a little thin, and I'm being a good producer.
No, I can drink the bubble water I have over
I
here.
can drink beer. It'll be fine.
No, I thought I was going to say beer, too. I didn't realize you had the bubble water.
So
Beer's
Sorry.
made mostly of water.
I've already poured myself more whiskey because clearly I'm going to fucking need it tonight.
So, Graham,
right.
what are we drinking?
We are drinking the Talisker Select Reserve. This is the last Game of Thrones whiskey in the 8-part set that we will do for a while. I believe this is the third, is it not, Sammy?
We did the Oban too, so we did four.
We did do four.
Did four
yeah.
of them.
All right, so we've gone. This is now halfway through the set. This is the Talisker Select Reserve, as already said, which is from the Isle of Skye. This is the House Greyjoy version of the Game of Thrones set. Coming in at 91.6 proof. This one actually came in Whiskey Advocate's top 20 this year, coming in at number 13. As I said, it's from the Isle of Skye. It's peaty, but it's not iodine like you would find in Isla. That big, heavy, numb-your-tongue
Kind
peatiness.
of Band-Aidy thing going on. This is more campfire.
This is much more campfire-y, as I have written here, peat. So just kind of lightly smoked, if you will. Comes in at $44.99 to $49.99 and is a very pleasant whiskey. Should you like a peated whiskey?
Yeah.
You should try to find this one if anybody has any left.
There's pretty good availability of them. I think they did another run is what ultimately happened. They did the first run. They sold out so quick, and I think everybody, the popularity of it all, they went, you know what, let's get some more whiskey out there.
Yeah.
But without tainting the juice. They're still using the same age statements that they were using and the same
this
same
particular
blends
one
and stuff.
is no age state.
Right. Well, because they probably have some 3-year-old whiskey in this, and you don't want to put Talisker 3 on a bottle. That just looks bad.
Of course not. I sell a few like that, non-age statement scotches.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. And frankly, the Scotch industry as a whole is starting to get away from some of those numbers.
Yeah.
They're really highlighting more the barrels that they're using to finish their product in, because also, as all whiskey has seen a big influx in popularity, you're going to make the same amount every year. So at some point, you're going to start to run out of stuff.
Yep.
If you can make it taste the same with a 10-year-old in it instead of a 12-year-old in it,
Oh,
you're
you
gonna
have
make
to.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
so what do? Lose the number.
Yep.
Because the perception will be is if it says, a 12-year-old on it instead of a 10-year-old, the perception is going to be, oh, the whiskey's no longer as good because it used to be 12 years old, where if you just change it without saying anything and it just everybody highlights the wood. They'll talk about, oh, it's in port barrels, or oh, it's in Sauterne barrels, and that's what everybody will talk about. So
100%. But yeah, damn good whiskey. And remember to drink responsibly. Mel, take note. I said it.
Note taken.
Thank you.
excellently done. Let's cheers to that, kids.
There we go.
Lovely. All right, Sam, sometimes the lead isn't the flashy score or the big clubs. Sometimes it's just a good story of redemption. Southampton 2,
Redemption is right.
Leicester City 1, Watford 3, Bournemouth 0. Late October, you lose 9-0 at home. You seem destined for a relegation battle. Since then, you take some scalps that include drawing Arsenal, beating Chelsea, beating Tottenham, and now you add the Foxes to that list and beating them in their building. Find yourself in 12th place and suddenly completely safe.
All of a sudden, yeah.
Go figure.
They're living Villa's best life.
That's very true. To be honest, the story here for me, there's two pieces to it. Is Danny Ings finds himself second top scorer in the Premier League.
14 goals right now.
Tied for. He's one of those that had a lot of injury problems throughout his career. But when he made it to the big club finally, really didn't get a sniff when he was at Liverpool. I think he's one of those we talk about, people that need to be a big fish in a small pond
Stay in your lane.
versus a medium fish in a very large pond. And he seems to benefit from being at a smaller club. While Southampton are still a big club, they are not the stature of Liverpool.
Of course.
And he seems to be thriving down there.
Yeah.
The other side is the board and the ownership of Southampton that stuck with Hasenhüttl past that ridiculously embarrassing defeat to Leicester, 9-0 in their own building.
Yeah.
It said, we think this is mainly on the players. We think the game plan was okay. There were some injuries, and we think you're still the right man to keep us forward. They kept faith with him, and damned if he hasn't repaid them.
Yeah, I mean, both of us kind of wanted to see him go down, not because of Hasenhüttl, just because they have asshole friends that like to make airplane references.
To Cardiff,
Right. That, and also I've seen that club sell so much that it's become so depleted that I'm kind of like, you know what? Yeah, go back down. Like, you're not doing anybody favors here, but give them credit, man. Really, give them credit.
Well, also going behind in this game to find their way forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Down early.
To
Down
come
early.
back away from home and win 2-1. It was good.
Go down 1-0 to Leicester at Leicester pretty easily.
Too humid up there?
Mel dropped her seat down and went real low.
I have regrets.
But did it right in the middle of us talking. And
Yeah.
just out of the corner of my eye, she went from being a little taller than me to like a midget. And I was like, vertically
I
challenged.
meant to go down an inch or two, and it just went faster, and just forget about it. Keep talking.
Completely.
I kept talking because I'm a radio professional.
Completely
Sam, as we've
distracted
talked
me.
about before,
I get
it
distracted
distracts him.
by the bells and whistles. I get
Yep.
very distracted by the bells and whistles.
Do we think Southampton's done enough? I mean, let's face it, from 8th place to 18th place is still exceptionally close.
One or two results just in general could fuck you
Yeah.
straight away. I'm just pulling it up now to get an accurate representation of where everybody is here. And I am there. Full table. And we've got Southampton on 28.
Tied
and
with you and us.
Right. And on 17th, Watford. just outside of the relegation zone, is 22nd, and Villa just inside of it is 21st. So 3 results. Say, for instance, Villa comes up against Bournemouth, Norwich, and Watford 3 weeks in a row, right?
Right.
Which I don't know their schedules. Southampton comes up against Liverpool, you guys, or Liverpool, Spurs, and City.
Oh, fortunately for Southampton, they've pretty much knocked out the big clubs.
No, I'm just saying, if you have the fixture list could fuck you, right?
Right.
So if you play a very good team while someone in or around you, or somebody that you're expected to be in or around, plays a shit team, you could find yourself in a bad position. Where if both of you are playing middle of the road teams in the same week, that's a little less of a surprise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think schedule-wise, because now Southampton's gotten Chelsea, both their Chelsea matches out of the way, both their Arsenal matches out of the way. They've gotten both of their Tottenham matches out of the way. That helps.
I did qualify it as I didn't know their schedule.
And both their Leicester matches out of the way.
Right.
And within those matches, they got 3 wins and a tie. In those 4 games.
Villa coming up. We've got Brighton, Watford, Leicester, and then Bournemouth. But hey, Leicester's now beatable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Wilfred, to that point, Wilfred and Ndidi was a huge miss.
Oh, God, yes.
I think Chowdhury's a decent enough player, but he's no Wilfred and Ndidi.
That was something we had kind of discussed at the start of the season for Leicester was, what if they lose the wrong piece at the wrong time?
Yep.
And
They kind of
just lost the wrong piece at the wrong time.
They kind of did.
And also the 2 outside backs that were, rivaling what Liverpool has in their 2 outside backs with Chilwell and Pereira.
Yeah.
They have both kind of, since getting their butts handed to them by Liverpool, have both fallen into a shell and have not been performing well over the past 4 weeks.
Yep, absolutely.
Not a good time to hit a bump in the road, Leicester.
Soyuncu, for all the good work he's done this season, has put in some clumsy challenges. I think he gave away a handball penalty. Not sure how much he knew about it in the last couple of weeks. And then gave away a penalty in this game as well that VAR, lucky for him, said was offside first before he fouled. I think it was it was Shane Long. But he clattered into him for no reason from behind.
Yep.
It's, he's been one of their stalwarts. They haven't missed Harry Kane because of him specifically.
Yeah.
And these couple of lapses in concentration over the last few weeks, playing such a high line and getting beat by Danny Ings. I think it was him that jumped in when Danny Ings went on to score his winner.
Yep, it was.
A terrible mistake
and
from
high
him.
up the pitch too.
Mm-hmm.
Not respecting, like when a striker gets in like that behind the defense and is running in from 25 yards out and has a chance to set themselves, that's a mistake in defense.
Yeah.
Because that guy should never get a look like that.
Absolutely.
Ever.
100%.
Ever.
And so I wonder if you're starting to see his youth show a bit, which is the wrong fucking time for that to happen.
Very true. Now, we keep talking about, how like Big Sam and David Moisiola and people like that are the
Not anymore.
are the
Moisiola.
great escape artists. Like they're kind of the ones you bring in to help. I would debate that name is that crown goes to one Mr. Nigel Pearson now.
Something goes to him. Maybe it's the big dunk crown.
Yeah, he's a mean son of a bitch. That's for sure.
Nigel Pearson is the king of the North, right? He has been exactly what they needed. I believe in the first, I can't remember who it was. Might have been Ben Foster. One of the first interviews after he took over, and basically, they're kind of at training. Just finished up training. They get a quote for the new manager coming in, and Ben Foster says like, "Oh yeah, he's a real taskmaster." And then you see him kind of check his shoulder, and Pearson turn around from about 20 yards away, and he goes, "But that's exactly what we needed." It's like, good. You know what? You're a goalkeeper, but you still saved it in an interview. You know what I mean?
Did. Well
done.
He made a couple of big saves early on here.
Absolutely.
Bournemouth had a couple of opportunities to start the game.
It was a really helter-skelter opening, wasn't it? It was just kind of end-to-end stuff. Both keepers came up big at different times. I think De La Feu had a shot. And who else? Somebody else at the other end
Jerry's starting to find his form. Like, he's really
Yeah,
starting to
again.
find his form and
He is again.
really be a problem on the wing, because it's not just his speed and his ability to attack the net. The guy can pick a pass too,
Yeah.
which then means you have to respect that he can put a pass on you.
Where was Aaron Ramsdale for this match? Injured? Why wasn't he playing?
Yeah, he's injured, and Hal decided to go with the kid
The
instead
young
of going,
kid, yeah.
instead of going with Burrich, who
Now is on loan.
yeah.
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 Mark Travers, 20-year-old Irishman, was bad. He gave away the first goal pitifully.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
terrible.
Very bad.
Decore slotted that one home.
This is very clearly, Sam, two teams going in the exact opposite directions. This just happened to be the game where they crossed paths because they were playing each other.
Well, we said before, both of them tend to start off brilliantly, right? First 5-6 games of the season.
Oh, yeah, they're always the
It's
kings of
normal-
the league.
Yeah, they're always in the top four after the first 5-6 weeks. And then they both drop like a stone, and then they both play well again the last 6 weeks to get out of it. Bournemouth has not played well at all
I don't know where Bournemouth's going to
the
play
entire
well.
time. And Nathan Ake was back for this one and still shipped 3 goals. Maybe he's not up to snuff.
Frazier's out there. Wilson's out there.
Yeah.
Now
Wilson and Ake were both injured for a while.
Right.
So it could be they still got a little bit of rust. We'll talk about it later. Tyrone Mings played last week, but comes out this week still in the side.
Yeah.
Still maybe a little bit of rust, lacking some match sharpness. No, it's not his fault, but getting pumped 6-1. You know what I mean? So they may still have a little bit of rust. They may still not be fully match fit, but Bournemouth is just so thin they need those guys on the field, despite not being fully fit.
Big loss for them right now, Philip Billing. Philip Billing just kind of fills a void in the middle of the field, a little bit of toughness that doesn't let people get through.
He's also 6'7".
Yeah.
He looks like Slender Man running around out there.
Not having him on the pitch right now, it makes Lerma the only man doing anything.
He got popped in the face, too.
So it just they're in a bad fucking way right now.
They are in a bad way. And
I see this team dropping like a stone. Like I really think they're going down.
And you listened to this show last week.
Here's hoping.
You listened to the show last week where I was talking to Alan about it, and I just said I just don't see it from them, and I hope that because I really rate Eddie Howe as a boss.
Well, and
I'm worried that he's hurting his stock.
Right, but what are you going to do
with each passing week?
You can't fire him. If you fire him, you've just signed, sealed, and delivered. You're going back to the championship. And you're the smallest club in the Premier League. Hell, if you're in the championship, you're one of the smallest clubs in the championship.
Yeah, that's true,
If you
too.
go down, you ain't coming back up. So if you do go down, you want to make sure you have Howe with you.
Well, I think the other thing is that depends on who they lose. Now, I think they'll lose Billing. I think they'd lose Frazier. I think they'd lose Callum Wilson, Josh King, and Nathan Ake, which is essentially the spine of their entire team. If they somehow miraculously kept hold of those people, I think they'd come right back up.
Right.
But if those guys left, which they very well could because they're the best players on a shit team, Bournemouth would be in real trouble in the championship.
Now, do you think they've been in dead last until last week where they got themselves in the 19th? Now, for the first time in the entire season, Watford finds themselves outside of the relegation zone.
Mm-hmm.
Will they continue to rise, or is this the, we got out, now they're going to slip up a little?
No, I to be honest with you, I think Watford is going to keep rolling because they're terrified of their boss.
Yeah, that's pretty simple.
Much like this show.
Yes, you should be.
Notice at the beginning how we were like we didn't have fun and we were just right into the business. Yeah. Anyway.
Dance monkey dance. Make with the color commentary.
We glossed over something I need to go back to in Southampton, but I'll do that in a second.
I'm about to Nigel Pearce in your ass if you don't get back on task.
Well, you know what? That brings me up the point I was going to make was in House and Hoodle's leggings that he wears, because I won't call them track bottoms because they're so tight around his legs. Mm-hmm. You can almost see his vein like we say about your vein on your forehead.
Mm-hmm.
So you know when House and Hoodle's pissed off or excited.
And you can see it right now very clearly, can't
absolutely.
you?
But that was the joke I was going to make before you unexpectedly moved on. In terms of Watford, if they start to slip again, I suggest getting a BBC One subscription and watching the first 48 UK because there will be some people coming up missing, some very prominent people in the Watford community.
Well, the city of Manchester won 10-1 on aggregate this weekend, Sammy.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Manchester City 6, Villa 1, Manchester United 4, Norwich 0. Woo!
I'll let Mel rant. But I just want to get one thing in. Because I can't really tell you about this game in and of itself because the highlight package was basically just the City goals.
That's okay. The only highlights you would have seen is from the only Villa player that came to play that day, Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Tyrone Mings was there. I just think he was so busy trying to keep the shitstorm together. Looking at Sam's notes, he sums it up perfectly here. City starts both strikers and lay an absolute ass whooping on Villa. And that's pretty much what it was. I mean, I thought it was going to be 4-0. I just didn't expect it to be 4-0 at the end of the first half.
Yeah. Right?
And then in our football club group on Facebook, Chris starts with the 5-5-0.
Welcome to the 5-0 club.
Yeah, you're in the club. And I was like, well, let's keep it at 5. And then next thing I know,
stoppage time penalty.
bam. Thank God for that last penalty. We were able to get a point.
A consolation goal.
Yeah, I'll take the consolation goal. However controversial it might be, I'm still taking it. Bottom line, Aston Villa to stay up and stay competitive, we need more players other than Jack Grealish.
Well, you signed Danny Drinkwater, who
Who broke Danny Drinkwater?
Yeah. Okay, so Houston's giving me the backstory. Can you give the backstory for other people that might be ignorant like me?
I'll give you the real quick version.
Okay.
His last 3 Premier League starts were for 3 different clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He apparently used to be really good.
Yeah, he was with
part of the title-winning side.
the title-winning side. He was who worked next to Conte.
Yep, next to N'Golo Conte, yeah.
In the middle of the field. He was a hell of a player. Chelsea brought him in on a January transfer.
Right.
And he never really clicked, even though it was Conte in the middle of the field with him. The two of them just never really seemed to click
only
again.
started 1 game, so he wasn't really in Antonio Conte's plans.
Yeah.
I don't know why they signed him.
No,
and
it
then
made no
Maurizio
sense.
Sarri hated him as well.
Yeah, and then he just never played.
He started once in the Premier League under both managers.
Yeah.
And he's been there for damn near 3 years.
And he'd get a few subs, but I mean he's not getting any playing time. And at that point too, he was an England international when he was with
Right.
Leicester.
So I'm going to be Pollyanna Sunshine here for a second. And let's just say maybe City was not the right game for him to step into because
course not.
it looked like a FA Cup match between a third-ranked team and a Premier League team.
Yeah,
I can't
it
take
did.
credit for that thought. That's what one of the announcers said.
Right.
But I was paying attention.
That's all we can ask.
It did. It looked like college versus
the
professionals.
pros,
Like
yeah.
it was sad. But Grealish is the only one that was trying to make moves, and I think he stayed on the pitch longer than he should have. Dean should have just pulled his ass because he's lucky he didn't get a red or more yellow going after emotional picks.
Yeah.
You know about that, playing emotionally when you get frustrated.
He got a yellow for
There's something
he
about
got a
that.
yellow for dissent, which was justifiable.
Well, what do you
'Cause
say?
he
Like,
was-
fuck off, ref?
Well,
or call
it was just
something or
it was
something?
like how it was basically
it
how
was
about
a Graham line.
how about you fucking call something because
Yeah.
it was calling
Well-
penalties down at one end for City, but not calling them down on this end of the field, and he was pretty pissed about it, and justifiably so.
yeah.
In the play where he got the card for dissent, El Ghazi was fucking dragged to the ground, and there was no call. It was just get up, and it was
but
we're losing 5-0 here. Come on, give us a little help.
if a
mate."
yellow for dissent was justifiable, then Wayne Rooney would have been sent off as many times as Serge.
Well, yeah.
Who's the guy for Real Madrid? Jesus Christ! Why the center back? Big brain fart.
I'm
I don't know.
Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos. Yeah.
I was just letting you drown. It was
Sergio
fun.
Ramos.
It was fun watching you drown,
I
professional.
had a
I had
very big
nothing.
brain fart there.
Yeah, and I don't think, and I think maybe if Heaton was in the match. Oh, thank you for my shot, my
oh my
love.
lord!
If Heaton was in the match,
I have things to fill while she's taking that.
what
by
do you
the way.
think? He only would have saved maybe 1 or 2 of
It
those.
still,
it
it still would have been a
difference.
4-0
Yeah,
game.
it wouldn't have made a big difference. Oh, by the way, Pepe, that's his
Reina.
name. Yeah, he
Pepe
did
Reina.
pass physical and all that. Paperwork is inked, signed, and done.
So
He's
he-
on loan.
So here's something I was telling Melissa about Reina. Now, I mean, Reina's been known to have a few gaffes in his life when he's in the net, but here's what he's going to offer that your third string and bless your heart, fucking Orjan.
Bless your little cotton socks.
Exactly. Orjan Nyland for your first Premier League start having to be against City. But after you give up 3 quick goals, including a near poster, you're thinking about self-preservation. And what you're not thinking about...
The near poster. That was the one. I knew there was one goal in there that pissed me off.
So
only one out of 6. Only one out of 6.
The first one.
Sometimes a goalkeeper's job is to be a cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys, we got this. No more goals. No more goals. We're going to do this. We're going to hold. You know what? They got 3 quick ones. That's it. No more. We got this. I guarantee you that young man was worrying about his own ass at that point.
Yeah.
And what he's not doing is in his boys' ears, chirping, keeping them positive, making them still fight for you. Because after a while, you could just tell Villa was like, fuck it, we're losing this one.
Did you pick that piece of wisdom and information up in the last 5 years or so, 6 years?
Fuck off. I was constantly supportive as a keeper to you guys. A lot of times it would just be cheerleading.
There was a lot of fuck yous that I heard from the back, so I'm
That's
not sure
what
what
he meant
sort
by
of cheerleading.
No.
That's
when
how
I
the tyrant cheerleads.
when I've
fucking better than that. You know it. You pansy ass
when we're
bitch.
losing 12
Yeah,
to
that's
3,
him.
when we're losing 12 to 3 and we've given up 9 back post goals, I will be prone to say, "Hey boys, at some point might you want to fucking cover the guy on the back post?" I do say that, but a lot of times it's just, all right, get it right back, boys. Get it right back. Don't worry about it. We got this. We'll get it. Just, he wasn't the right guy for it. Fortunately for them, getting a guy like Pepe Reina is going to help them in that regards. And that's what they need. And
I hear ya.
frankly, they need that keeper more than they need that striker.
No,
they can find goals. They can find goals.
Absolutely. And they have found goals.
That team's been scoring.
Yes.
They need somebody to solidify that defense.
Correct. Now, can you do me a favor and pour me just a half a shot of Malort?
Really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why while you're drinking, and then I'll
Okay.
take mine when I'm done. But there's a reason for it.
I'm very curious.
And
Oh.
It's
I'll pour some of my.
come on.
I thought you meant you wanted half of my shot in your glass.
And it is emotional for me.
Aw.
And it's not a pro-Arsenal agenda. It is relevant to City.
Okay.
But it does have to do with something sad.
All right.
So would you like to take your shot?
All right. So Drinkwater didn't have a great opening, but maybe he'll find some love and figure it out. What next week is live admin Brighton.
Yeah.
Brighton, you said, yeah.
Fuck it. Bring on Brighton. We can do this shit. Up the Villa.
Sergio Aguero, with his hat trick,
Yep.
did 2 things. And Alan, I hope you have your Malort as well.
Oh, that's worse. It gets worse every week. I don't know what to choose.
Sergio Aguero, with his 3 goals, tied and then beat Thierry Henry's record as the highest scoring foreigner in the Premier League.
Right.
Foreigner, not from Great Britain.
Right. Not English.
Or
Scottish
or
Scottish
Welsh.
or Welsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Thierry Henry had 175. Sergio Aguero now has 177 after his 3. So Thierry Henry, King Henry, has lost his crown in that respect. Also, Alan Shearer, the great Alan Shearer, has lost his crown for most Premier League hat tricks. Sergio Aguero now has 12. Alan Shearer only had 11. So, Alan, our legends have fallen.
Here's the last thing I'll say on Villa. Being Pollyanna Sunshine, I want to point out this stat.
Who is this Pollyanna Sunshine?
Me, apparently. So 50% of the goals that blue and claret teams have scored against Man City have been from Villa.
Okay.
Yeah, so far in 4 matches this year against all the claret and blue sides.
That would be West Ham, Burnley, and Villa.
Right. They've played Burnley twice. Villa twice. The other 2 once. 18-2 is their collective score
Right.
against those.
And you scored both goals.
No,
No,
one.
only one of them, 50%.
Okay.
But
Burnley scored
50%
one.
of the blue and claret goals against Man City were Villa.
Well, careful. David Moisiola is in town.
So
And the football is a-flowing down there at West Ham.
let's move on to United. There's still the occasional slip-ups, but we're starting to see more of this than we are the slip-ups. United back?
I don't know.
It's
Because my first sentence is, well, which I, to be honest, I didn't read your notes. We just might be that in tune, to be fair. For all of Manchester United's dominance on the ball and perceived dominance in the game, every other statistical category was fairly even between them and Norwich. I think United had one more shot. I think they also had one more offsides. I think Norwich edged them in corners.
So just capitalizing on the opportunities.
Yeah. I think they had 6 shots on target to Bournemouth's 5, or Norwich's 5.
Wouldn't that be the most United thing United would ever do? I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of what United does, right?
Basically, yeah.
You could dominate them an entire game in the old days of Fergie. You could be beating them 1-0, playing the game of your life, and then they get 25 minutes added to the end of the game because Ferguson cried a little, and then they suddenly score 2 in the last 29th minute of those 28 minutes,
Right.
and win 2-1, and you go, how the fuck did that just happen?
Rashford getting one back on Krul from the penalty spot.
Yep.
The ball, though, from Juan Mata. That Rashford's first, the opener.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. The perfect position that allowed the Norwich goalkeeper to think that he had time to get there. The trajectory of the ball looked like he'd be able to get there. He took 2 steps in the wrong direction. It allowed Rashford to vacate the space in behind him, and he couldn't get there.
Nope.
And he could make it back in time.
Nope.
And Rashford volleyed it in. It was a fantastic ball. It was for me, that was the pass of the weekend.
So
In the Premier League, it was awesome, and that's including Alexandre Lacazette's pass to Aubameyang.
here's the odd question: could this team quietly somehow find themselves in 4th or 5th place at the
They're
end
in
of the
5th
year?
now. Yeah,
Like,
they
this
absolutely
team could end up in a Champions League spot, and we'd all be like, "How the fuck did that happen?"
Yeah, no, absolutely. And they're getting it from everywhere. Look at Brandon Williams, young left back,
Yep.
taking in, deputizing for Luke Shaw, who's hurt again.
Yeah, using
He
young
got brought
players.
down. He got brought down for the penalty.
Yep, they're bringing
Fantastic.
they're-
Mason Greenwood scored a goal.
bringing in young players, using them in vital spots. The right guys are getting healthy at the right time. I mean, again, now the only problem is you look through all of this where they've been on a nice winning tear. You then go, oh yeah, they were completely absent against Arsenal. Oh, they were completely absent against Watford.
Yep.
Like, you just look at games and you go, it's like, if it isn't for that like monstrous just fucking slip ups that they have, you'd think you'd be like, okay, they're coming back, but just fuck, they have these monstrous gaffes that then just make you leave yourself scratching your head. So it's odd with them. Now let's turn our attention a little bit over to Norwich. I mean, is it time to get rid of Farka?
Yes, it's been time.
Yeah.
They're letting that City result live way too long in the memory. Way too long in the memory. The point against Liverpool as well. That the results are not good enough. They're 6 points adrift of Villa in 19th.
The only team that looks worse than them right
Nope.
now is Bournemouth.
Nope. Bournemouth.
Yeah. That's the only
They
team.
are 6 points adrift of Bournemouth. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. 7 points adrift of Villa in 18th. And 8 points adrift. I couldn't add the one.
Yeah.
Adrift of Watford, who's clear of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
It is time for Farker to go. They need some new ideas. They need to, maybe it's time for their entire physio staff to go and hire new people of those to get people back from fucking injury.
People are constantly hurt. No Pukki. No Pukki, no goals. I mean, it's pretty much it with them.
Yeah.
Is no Pukki, no fucking
That's
goals.
the way it goes.
And-
That
That's a song right there.
no Pookie,
no goals.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep it going.
No Pookie, no goals.
Rounding out the rest of the league, yes, sir.
I did want to mention that I had the wherewithal to name Marcus Rashford my captain for our fantasy team
Well done.
and include Anthony Martial. So 3 goals between the two of them, and Rashford was my captain.
All right, cool. I can get back to the show now that you're done talking about yourself?
Yep.
All right, excellent. Rounding out the rest of the league in so that happened. Arsenal 1, Palace 1, Chelsea 3, Burnley 0, Wolverhampton 1, Newcastle 1, Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0, Sheffield 1, West Ham 1, Everton 1, Brighton 0. Now, I hate to say it, Sam, but there's a lot of VAR in these matches. So much VAR.
Too much VAR.
In all of these matches.
Sing it, Molyneux. Fuck VAR. Fuck VAR.
So
Fuck VAR. Fuck VAR.
So bad break for Aubameyang. He gets the goal, and then he gets called for the red card. Here's my question. I didn't write it down purposely, Sam, but here's my question for you. If Aubameyang's foul is a red card because it is spikes directly into the ankle, how is Robertson's for Liverpool spikes directly into the ankle, not even a card?
I think it may just be the angle in which the replay was shown.
They slid the same way to this. It was the side of the ankle.
I know. I'm saying,
it was.
I don't.
It
think,
was the exact same foul, Sam. Different spots of the field.
I don't disagree
but that
with you.
impact was the exact same impact.
I don't disagree with you. I think it was the replay that was shown to the officials on the Robertson foul that changed their mind. Because in real time, from the angle that the television was, I thought a yellow was fair for Aubameyang. It was that camera straight down the touchline, where it's like he went directly over top of the ball and made impact the way he did. And is it Myers? Max Myers?
Max Meyer.
Meyer.
Yeah, Meyer.
That had to go off as a result of the challenge. That kind of turned my opinion. I was like, oh, that's a red.
And here's the thing: I don't like. There was a little bit of cynicalness in the challenge. I just think he was going for a slide down the line, but it wasn't.
It was a striker's tackle.
I mean, yeah,
it was a terrible slide tackle. He had
strikers don't know how to tackle. That's their job. They should not tackle.
He had at least 3 feet where he could have been on the ground, and that wouldn't have happened.
Right. The minute you saw that replay, though, you're like, oh, that's a red.
Well,
you're like,
it took me.
Yeah, it's a red.
It probably took me 3 replays because I was pissed, and I was like, oh, fuck, come on, no. And then by the 3rd one, I was like, all right.
You're like, it is spikes directly into the ankle. That's a fucking red.
I took my red tinted glasses off and was like, it's probably a red.
You know, if only the referees at the new White Hart Lane would have done the same, because it's the same fucking foul, man.
Yeah.
It's the same. I mean, it was literally the same fucking foul.
So, problem with Arsenal.
And here's the worst part. Same fucking foul, both games on the same fucking day. You know what that means? Same fucking VAR official for both.
Oh, I didn't
Were they
think about
different?
that.
They were at different times, weren't they?
Yeah.
Same
Fucking VAR official for both.
So there is literally an apples to apples compare fucked up VAR is.
Yeah.
In this instance, yeah, I guess. The only thing I can think of is that the angle of the replay was different for the Robertson tackle.
Yeah.
And he couldn't properly see where he was coming from. I'm not saying they're bad at their jobs. Right. I'm not saying that they're biased towards Liverpool. I'm just saying that there's something different when it happens to a different team.
You know, and Sam, if only.
And you would think at a brand new fucking stadium, they'd have all the camera angles.
You know, and I love the communication that the VAR official and the on the pitch match referee have. But if only there was a device that match official could walk over and go look at, that would explain in a visual medium what happened just in front of you. If only there was that, Sam. I mean, like, I don't know, a television screen, something that
plugged in that also has replays on it.
The ref could walk over and look at.
Are they plugged in? Do we know that for certain?
Yeah, no, they're displaying a VAR screensaver.
How can a ref justify?
Maybe it's just a screensaver, and that's it.
How can a ref justify handing a red to a player without physically watching the fucking play again with his own fucking eyes?
Well, there's
How?
There's the problem, because out of one side of professional game match officials, Pigmo, out of one side of their mouth they say that's going to take too long, right? We don't want them using the monitor. But out the other side of the mouth, they say we don't want the games being re-refereed. Well, then why is the other referee, who's not there, who doesn't have the flavor of the game, who
is
doesn't have the
re-refereeing the
atmosphere,
game,
is making a fucking call that is a subjective call in a lot of cases?
And here's the thing: if the ref would have looked at a monitor, he would have probably given Aubameyang a red. He would have gone, that was worse than I thought it was.
It happened literally one step beyond the halfway line into Arsenal territory, next to both benches, right by the tunnel,
I-
which
I-
is where the fucking monitor is. So I had to wait for 2 minutes for somebody across London at Stotley Park to tell me, hey,
That's a red.
it's probably red.
Hey, so
Or can I just walk 3 feet to the monitor, you show me the replay, and I say, mate, that's a red.
so Sam, what is the point of sale device that you use to do your job day in and day out?
I have an iPad.
What do most people use day in and day out to do their job?
Be either an iPad or an iPhone.
What do the NFL refs use? They use Surface Pros because of the sponsorship, but they have
A tablet.
a
Yeah.
that is handed to them on the field.
Do you remember one of the other shows?
How fucking hard would it be to have the fourth official hand the ref a fucking
You know what the problem
It's
is?
becoming angering.
The
this.
Wi-Fi at the Vitality is spotty. So it would,
okay.
it would be unfair.
Yeah, that has to
But
be.
let's also another show that we listened to. Do you remember what they said about they want an iPad flown in on a drone?
Yes.
And if the referee gets it wrong, it just keeps going forward and bashes him in the face. Yeah. I agree with that. I want that to happen.
So,
And I got in a little tiff with your boy John. Not a tiff. I was angry at what happened. But when I went on my rant about there should be pitch side monitor use, and he said they don't have them. And we got involved in semantics because they do have them, but they're told not to use them.
right
So technically they don't have them, even though they're physically there.
there's
And there was no ill will there, John. I was just in a mood at the moment.
yeah. Well, and I'd like to say that's the only time we're going to talk about VAR, but I see the Liverpool match, I see the Sheffield match, and I got a few thoughts about the Everton match and VAR as well. So
Y'all won.
I'll get some thoughts. Chelsea on cruise control. People starting to get healthy. Hudson-Odoi back in, scores a goal. They're starting to get it together.
It took them 27 minutes to open the scoring through Jorginho from the spot.
It's Burnley for you.
But Chelsea did completely dominate that game from start to finish. Tammy adding a second goal 11 minutes after Jorginho's, and then Hudson-Odoi killing the game off just after halftime with a wonderfully timed run and finish.
My captain, Mr. Tammy Abraham.
Well, he only had one. Mine
Yeah.
had two.
I hear you.
Just saying.
Uh-huh.
Next game.
I would say, Sam, Burnley aren't Burnleying many people anymore, are they?
Well,
And-
we said
and-
this about them, their record against the top six, which I didn't really realize.
I mean,
Now-
it should have been obvious when Villa beat them that Burnley had lost their edge.
I mean,
Yeah, fair enough.
when Villa
Fair
Burnley,
enough.
Burnley.
Yeah.
yeah,
fair
come
enough.
on.
But Burnley have never been terrific away from home.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're allowing that 3-0 that opened up last season
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Stamford Bridge to live long in our memory.
Right.
But traditionally, against the big six in England, that would be Man City, Man United,
Right.
Liverpool, Tottenham, and Arsenal.
But let's
Is that only five?
let's dissect.
Doesn't matter.
Let's dissect Burnley a little bit more because
But their record against those clubs is not brilliant.
it sucks. So, but let's dissect Burnley a little bit more in this regards.
Hold on. Let's do it.
They're well done.
Thanks. Sometimes I could be witty.
They're old.
Yeah.
This is not a young club.
No.
This is a
It's
coach.
Dwight McNeil and a bunch of old guys.
This is a coach who's been coaching this team for quite a while. Very stuck in their ways and the way that they do things, right?
I'm sorry, are we talking about Drunkard United?
Yes. How is this
Similar, actually.
you like how that was my inadvertent mute button. It was like, okay, you said what you said, now hit the fucking mute button. But that all came out in a yes.
Actually, decent point, though.
A very
to be
dismissive
fair.
yes.
This was better than her Villa commentary.
So
And she watches them more than us.
how's it any different than Bournemouth?
Fair enough.
I think they're going to get dragged into the muck.
I agree with
think,
that.
like earlier in the season, we were like, okay, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're comfortably where they need to be.
They're only on
Burnley's
24.
back. I think Burnley in some legit, real deal trouble.
yeah. I mean, they're-
especially the way Watford's starting to play for their lives essentially because Pearson will bite out their throats. But like Dyche, what's he going to do? Eat some mud? I mean,
It's some earthworms. Here's the thing, and I'm going to bring Brighton into this conversation because they're tied on points.
Right.
We feel completely opposite about Brighton than we do Burnley.
Yeah.
Brighton tied on 24 points, has a -5 goal differential, right? Has 6 draws, 6 wins, and 10 losses. Okay? Burnley, on the other hand, has 7 wins, 3 draws, 12 losses. And those draws are going to keep you in the league.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Draws keep you up.
But I feel like Brighton's safe already.
Brighton playing
Their trajectory.
Brighton fixed their issues, became a very different team. So
Mm-hmm.
up or down, it's positive. Like if they go down, you're going to go, yeah, they're coming
They'll
right
be
back
fine.
up.
Yeah.
They got the right guy coaching them. They're moving in the right direction. Bournemouth and Burnley, you look at and it's like these are managers that have been around for a while now. Granted, they're stalwarts. I mean, they're of dire importance to both of their clubs. But you're seeing teams that are starting to stall and they're starting to get figured out. And
Oh yeah,
like
you're looking at Burnley. My point is Brighton and Burnley are both tied on 24 points, right?
feel a lot more scared for Burnley than you do for Brighton.
Villa's in 18th, the first relegation place, on 21 points, and Bournemouth is in 19th, the second relegation place, on 20 points. So you're one match away from being in the relegation zone, right? For those two clubs, and you're 2 matches away from being firmly in the relegation zone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I feel like Brighton, the way they play, their approach, the diamonds in the rough that they've found, I feel like they're okay. Burnley are in big trouble.
Yeah.
Because Ben Mee looks a shell of himself.
Yeah.
Tchaikovsky can't do it all on his own. The goalkeeping, Nick Pope has kept them afloat, to be honest.
Right.
You also, the goals have dried up from both Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes.
Yeah.
That they
Big
were
time.
killing at the beginning of the season. McNeil isn't as influential as it was when he first broke into the team. Aaron Lennon still hasn't done very much. Jay Rodriguez scored 1 winner, and then he's been coasting ever since. Jeff Hendrick hasn't contributed very much.
More people would be talking about Burnley if Bournemouth wasn't on this utter and complete
landslide. Yeah, absolutely.
More people would be talking about what's going on in Burnley right now.
I'm
They're
with you.
for real in trouble. Let's knock out the next two real quickly. Credit to Newcastle. You got the point at home. Good job. You're going to figure out a way to stay up.
Newcastle was away.
Oh, I'm sorry. At Wolves. Okay, even
Yeah.
better. I'm sorry. But you figure out a way to get a point. You're Rafa-ing it without having Rafa. Wolves, you aren't going to finish in 7th place and be in Europe if you do the shit you did last year. The league's too tight.
Yep.
You'll look at the end of the season and go, wow, how did Everton finish in front of us? Because you keep losing to shit teams and Everton keeps beating them.
Agreed.
Like, you got to be careful. Like,
I've got 3 points about this game.
Mm-hmm.
I said a few weeks ago, and I posted this in the Toon Army Baltimore, and that we're a part of now because of the show.
right.
And I said to them, I feel like as soon as Miguel Amarone gets 1, the floodgates will open. And in the last 4 weeks, he scored 3.
Yep.
His first one, then one in the FA Cup, and then this one.
one.
Yep. And it was brilliant. And based on the football that was played, brings me to my second point for that opener. Is it Steve Bruciola? Because that football to open up the pitch, the chess ball, I think it was Dwight Gale played to Jetro Willems. That was running down the left. Led to that opener. It was fan-fucking-tastic. The last point that I have is without Martin Dubravka, Newcastle would be in real trouble, and he's also very, very underrated, handsome.
Yeah.
Martin Dubravka.
He's a hell of a keeper.
He's a good-looking guy.
He's a hell of a keeper.
I'll look that up next
Yeah.
time we play them.
Look it up now. It's Dbravka. Martin, spelled normal. Dubravka, spelled phonetically.
He is a fantastic on-the-line shot stopper.
Did you see the save where he kicked out? I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Raul Jimenez. Got delivered a ball to the far stick. It rose well, great header, back across.
Yeah.
Dubravka was already in the air, kicked out his left leg, saved it. And then I think it was one of the Longstaff boys cleared it out. I think it was one of the Longstaff boys cleared it out. It was brilliant. brilliant. But that man deserves the key to the city. The freedom of Newcastle should be given to him.
So Liverpool, you talk to, Klopp, you talk to the team, no one will say that they're going to win the league. They're biting their tongue. They don't want to curse themselves.
Of course, they can't.
It's not a matter of do. When do they win the league? I mean, when do they win? I think they could very well win the league, Sam, when you and I are in Liverpool at Goodison Park for the Merseyside Derby. That could very, very well be.
Yeah, that's hot.
Very well be where.
Let's see, they're 14 points clear at the moment of City.
And a game in hand.
And a game in hand, right. So you figure they'll win it because it's against West Ham, right?
Oh, yeah, they're definitely winning that one.
So you figure they win.
Sorry, Chris, you're losing that one.
So say 64.
Maybe it won't be 5-0 like you lost to City.
So there's 17 points clear, right? Just for argument's sake. And there's 16 games left to play. So 16 times 3 gives you 48 points are left up for grabs. And they've got a 17-point lead. For argument's sake, again, they have a game in hand. They've only got 61. But for argument's sake, they've got 64 points, and there's 48 up for grabs.
This thing's going to be won in March.
It could very well be won by the end of March. It could be wrapped up in March, yes.
They are now they are on the most successful run of any team in Europe, of any of the big leagues.
In the history of the top 5 leagues.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I would also add that they've...
So, Graham, I'm sorry to interrupt you, baby, because you're just getting distracted by us anyways. Graham told me to look at pictures of Martin. That's his sister.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, she's an Instagram model.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm back.
You confused your Sams. He gets distracted. I don't. I was going to keep going with my thought.
You would have gotten distracted by that. If you're a heterosexual with a heartbeat, you'd have got distracted by that.
Yeah. Yeah, she can get it. So, anywho.
I knew that was coming. Yeah. Why is your right hand doing that?
Yeah, exactly. So I will say, you're looking at what Liverpool is currently doing. Now, they are having the most successful run without winning a league title yet, So just want
get it while you can.
Yeah.
Get it while you can.
It really is a matter of not when, not how, but when. It's decided. The rest of the league is now going to be the story. And you know what, Liverpool, you'll get your run. Watch, don't listen to this show because we're not going to talk about it. We'll give you credit at the end of the year when you finally win one. And you know what it'll be? It'll be good job, boys. You have now won as many Premier League titles as a League One side. Good job.
Now, listen, Mike Rogers, that's from him. I'll give you due credit, and I'll talk to you about it, mainly just to get under his skin, but at least you can listen to this show knowing that somebody cares.
Right. Well, we need to talk about the next 2 games a whole lot more, and we're already at 50 minutes, Sam, so we need to get through this shit. West Ham, simple, plain. You got fucking screwed.
Yep.
You got screwed. That game deserved to be a draw. It was a great battle. It was a good, tough fought match, and I know it's not VAR. I know it's the rule. But legitimately, the defender headed it into the running arm of Declan Rice. What is he supposed to now do? Like, put his arms behind the back and run around look like a chicken with just run around with your chest out? How do you call that? And then again,
I agree with you.
Let's take a specific instance. How is that unintentional and that's a handball when in the Wolves match with Liverpool, Van Dijk, the ball comes up, hits him in the hand, comes to the ground, makes the pass. The next pass is the pass for the goal.
Uh-huh.
How is that not a handball? And this is a handball.
I agree with you.
It's getting bad.
Have you seen the new
know
hashtag?
I've got my blue color glasses, but for fuck's sake, this isn't even blue collar glasses. There are specific instances where you can take them and look at them and go,
Have you seen the new hashtag?
No, I have not.
Hashtag tainted title.
Floating
around for Liverpool.
What's great?
A good old asterisk right there.
Yeah.
What's great is they haven't even won it yet, and everybody's already annoyed with them.
Yeah, well, this is like Barry Bonds' asterisk for the home run title for the year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was legitimately roided up. But
Never caught.
okay,
You forgot who you were talking to on that one.
I'm just saying. I forgot he was a giant, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. As soon
with-
as that came out and you said that, I was like, oh,
I
God.
forgot.
Not a
With-
can of worms. We want to open.
And without the steroids, because I'm
Here we go.
I'm well enough to know that
Football podcast.
he was using steroids. Barry Bonds still would have hit 500 home runs, stolen
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the 74 and
500 bases,
is what I'm worried about.
and would have still gotten 3,000 hits. You know how many players in the history of baseball have done that?
3.
0. Barry Bonds is the only player in the history of baseball to do that. Thank you very much. So, anyways, back
My
to
dad did it in the minor leagues.
okay.
Dick.
So good. Yeah, 500, 500, and 3,000. Your dad should have been
I'm
playing
kidding.
in the minor leagues.
My dad was in the minors for 3 years. I'm joking. I'm just trying to make you feel bad, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
So,
and also watch our spinoff show, Baseball with the Sams.
Yeah. So I mean,
no,
honestly,
who's on first? How could I fuck that up? God damn it!
West Ham
We'll
boys.
just reading the podcast. We got balls.
West Ham boys, you have every right to be furious. You got the screw job. I mean, I know some of you down there in Houston are wrestling fans as well. You definitely got the Shawn Michael, Bret Hart screw job.
but
Like
the-
you got the real
But that
deal
wasn't
screw job.
The goal was you know what's a shame is Fabianski going off with the hip injury again. That sucks. But the goal was David Martin fucking up a pass
yeah.
to Fabian Balbuena, who also could have done better. Both of them fucked big time.
Yeah.
And then Fabian Balbuena was weak. You take your yellow at that point. You bring him down.
Yeah,
Fuck
put
it.
him on the ground.
Sometimes you got to put studs in someone.
Yeah. Put their ass on the ground.
This is where I deserve £100,000 a week to just fuck people up.
Heard fuck people up.
All you got to do is drag him down. Not a problem. And David Martin almost got back to Ollie McBurney's shot.
Yep.
Also,
All
Ollie McBurney found in the stand at the South Wales Derby at the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
All right. So, real quick. Everton won. Brighton nil. Carlo's tactics help seal the victory. He changes up the lineup. He's doing different things. That's been working. Richie's goal was fucking dead nasty. I mean, when you just as a goalie, you just stop and you go, oh, fuck. Like,
Yep.
I mean, just
Yep.
kissed it off the post. That was nasty.
Yep.
Brighton, in 3 years, have still not registered a single point in the month of January.
Wow.
In 3 years.
That's an interesting stat.
Now, all of that means nothing. Fucking VAR. This is what I have been waiting for.
Get a second one. Yes.
The man, it was Dunk who did it, grabs Theo Walcott by the shoulder and pulls him back. It is clear as day. He doesn't
No question on it.
fall down, so the ref doesn't call the penalty.
He was taught to honestly at Arsenal.
Later in the match, Mason Holgate inside the box gets bumped from behind, goes down, the ref waves him up. So if you don't go down, you're not going to get the call. But if you do go down, you're not going to get the fucking call. VAR takes away the goal, the second goal from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which was in fact a handball, not an intentional handball. He's fallen forward. His hands are on his side. It hits his arm. It goes in. Fine. No goal. That's the rule of the league. No problem.
That's IFAB.
Montoya, 20 minutes earlier, is laying on top of the ball inside of the box with his arms on both sides of it.
I saw this.
How is that not a handball? And Dominic Calvert-Lewin gets a yellow for an intentional... And this is the same team that we played where Keane gets called for stepping inadvertently on Connolly's foot for a penalty in the first match. Okay, VAR. Well, then what are we supposed to do? Like, what?
So, did you hear the thing came out? It came out a couple weeks ago. It was after we had already recorded, and then you left.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, IFAB has come out and said that the Premier League may be stripped of their privilege to use VAR because they've implemented it so poorly.
It's fucking terrible.
It is.
It's fucking. I mean,
And
I
you
know.
save
I
some of
know.
it. We've got a winter break coming up for the first time ever.
I know
So
I'm an Everton fan. I know
we
I'm an
need
Everton
something
fan.
to
I
talk
know I
about.
got blue color glasses. But seriously, come on. You don't fall down. It's not a penalty. You do fall down. You get told to get up. What are you?
Well-
What are you supposed to do, Sam? What are you supposed to do when you get fouled?
Not be fucking Brazilian. Okay, that's the first thing.
Well, no,
Get up.
it was Holgate. It was Holgate
No,
who went
well,
down.
earlier in the season it was Richie.
Yeah, who by the way still hasn't
Don't-
gotten
all right.
hasn't gotten a yellow for simulation because every time he gets fucking fouled.
Then don't look like Richie.
He
Mason
just
Holgate.
all he did was fall to the ground. That's all he did.
I
He
have
fell
nothing.
to the ground.
I'm out of material.
How
There's-
does Dominic Calvin-Lewin get a yellow for an intentional yellow card, an intentional handball when Montoya is on the ground with his arms on each side of the ball, watching it bounce back and forth
Between his
like
hands,
a fucking
yeah.
pinball machine? How?
I'm
How?
with you. I'm with you.
How?
I get it.
It just
I get it. I get it. Listen, we would be in the same position in the table we are right now, maybe a place above, if there was no VAR. So it has not helped nor hurt us. Other clubs have been shat on. Other clubs have been greatly benefited by.
shocking to know. You know who the luckiest club for VAR is in
I think
the
it was
entire league?
Spurs, wasn't it?
Brighton.
Oh, it was Brighton, yeah.
And that was before what happened this weekend.
yeah.
They are number one with a bullet now. They are running away with that honor.
It's just like, what the fuck, man? The whole thing's bullshit and should be canned until they could fucking get it right. You know what they should do is implement the shit in League One where it doesn't matter. They should send Premier League referees down for a weekend, 5 weekends a year, to figure out how the fuck to use it and then bring it back.
We've been an hour. We need to get on with this
I
fucking
had one thing.
Please,
to say.
go ahead.
I had
Go
one
ahead.
thing. Possession was almost even in that match, Everton-Brighton. But you managed to triple Brighton on shots and did exactly what Ancelotti asked. Score more goals than your opponent.
It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time.
And we do know very little.
We know so little.
Very little.
Sam, next year, I'm going to rework our budget. We are not doing $100 bets on every
No,
game.
we are not.
Because we have lost a lot of fucking money.
I lost 75 real dollars in when I was in Jersey over the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we all suck at betting. Probably should give it up. Pat got the win, making the easiest bet ever. Liverpool to win.
What a dick.
Woo! Yay! Well,
What did he win?
Pat.
12 cents?
Yeah. He risked 150 to win 100. And the chicken needs to stop betting with her heart and start betting with her head.
I will have an update on that when we get to that.
Don't they actually have like the smallest brains in all the bird kingdom?
So Sam, you are back to minus almost 1,700, 1,687. So you've slowly
That's now a
crawled your way
historical
back
date.
up. There
That's
is
a
no
lot of time.
there is no future for your child. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope you've explained that to her. I hope you sat her down and said, you know, honey, you're going to have to work 2 jobs while you go to school.
She's
to pay for
actually
your
tried
books.
out for the basketball team at school because I need her to try something new that we maybe could get a scholarship at later on.
All right.
Are you going to start betting middle school
Sam-
basketball games?
Yeah.
Sam, but I'm going to ask you one question and then we'll feed the couple losers.
Okay.
Can you just make a simple bet?
No. I got really good odds on this one just fucking around while I was in Jersey, and it's good.
Okay, it's good. It's good. You've had lots of good, Sam. You know that, right?
Yeah, but this is real good.
Okay.
Listen to
you-
what I'm doing.
You have won collectively, I think, $33.
Your point?
Okay. Go get him. The floor is yours.
Hey, this could be it. So feeding the couple losers for myself. Pause that next break. Nope, it's the other side. That's when I had to pee. Fuck West Ham for losing me more money. Is what's on this one.
Just putting it in the cup.
I have time to get back to winning ways. Fuck you, Wolves.
Yep.
Because Wolves, you should have beat Newcastle. Jimenez, you should have scored. Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
If it wasn't for the very sexy left thigh of Martin Dubravka, Jimenez would have scored. And Wolves would have won.
Paul, I hold you personally responsible. I want you to go home tonight. I want you to think about it. I want you to think about how much you've upset me.
That's
What a
also part of
tyrant.
Tegan's college fund. So she's really in the shitter.
Yeah, but-
And neither one of us can win anything.
Yeah, but I actually took the money for your daughter and invested it in, into something called not betting, which means
Oh,
it'll
no.
actually earn money.
Here, I got 100 bones on this. Arsenal versus Sheffield draw this weekend
Picking your team to draw, huh?
at home.
Betting reality. That's what I
Against
call
Sheffield.
that. That's Sam Graham betting reality.
Aubameyang, who's the only person that can score for us apparently, besides an odd goal from Pepe every 7 weeks.
Can
which,
he play?
No. He got a red. He's out.
Right.
Yeah. Which is why we'll draw.
0-0. You're going with a 0-0?
I'm not doing exact score, but I have envisage, excuse me.
Visions
I
of
visions this. I envisioned, God damn it, you fucked me up. I envisage this to be a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
ENVISAGE.
Let's just go with anticipate.
A 1-1 draw. Anyway, I'm going to parlay that, thank you very much, with an Everton win away to West Ham. So an Arsenal home draw against Sheffield United, parlayed with an Everton win away at West Ham, David Moyes' spiritual home.
Calling it now. Dubblades are scoring on Arsenal.
And this is why I could not turn this down while I was fucking around on my phone this weekend.
What's the odds?
Plus 838.
Wow.
And it's two results I seriously believe could happen.
I mean, I'm sorry, Chris.
We already fucked up at the Blades once
You
this
know,
year.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry, Smokey, but we know how to beat West Ham at West Ham. I mean, we know how to do it, and yeah. I mean,
You're playing
yeah.
better than you have been. They
I mean,
did
we're,
twice.
We're still thin as hell, but we're playing well. I mean, Bernard added a lot to the game last week, and we're playing well. We're shooting a lot. Man, you keep fucking shooting. Fucking keep attacking the goal. Balls are going to go into the fucking net.
You may, score more goals than the other team, which is all we need.
It would be cooler if you had that eyebrow.
Hold on,
just
wait.
Up. Got a story about that. We'll talk about that in injury time. We'll talk about the eyebrow.
Okay.
So, all right. So let's go ahead.
You mean Erectus Maximus?
Yes. Let's go ahead and talk about our boy.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's
Easy
pick
pick of the week.
Why, yes, he stays in the same direction. He has titled this Liverpool, more like Liverpool.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does he use our 888 sport odds, or does he use
Yes.
the odds he actually bets on?
Yeah, he uses 88.
For the show, he uses
Yeah.
888? Okay.
Yeah. So
I was just wondering.
So thankfully, Liverpool is playing again on a primetime game. That's the other thing too. Give Pat credit. It's always been the primetime game. It's always been what's
Yeah,
on.
regardless of who it is. That's
right.
true.
Like he's done.
Yeah.
He's picked some fucking dogs.
Some
and
weird
bet-
shit. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
bet because it's the primetime game that everybody's gonna the network game that everybody's gonna get to watch on TV.
Yeah.
So give him credit for that. That's actually very well done.
Fair enough.
So the primetime game, Liverpool is playing again on the primetime game on Sunday because on Saturday it's Chelsea, and I will never put money on those assholes again. Chelsea's hurt him a few times.
Brave words there.
Liverpool is minus 150 and a goal against Manchester United. So let's ride the Liverpool train all the way to the bank this weekend. I'll risk 300 to win 200. And that will double my debt. I know that will double my debt if I lose, but Liverpool might be the best team of all time. I'm not losing, and I just wrote that shit, so Sam had to say it.
And I just wrote down
Have
the
a good
time
one.
so I could isolate it.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Now, he's betting 300 to win 2.
Who is the only team?
And it's a derby.
Who is the only team that Liverpool has dropped points to this year?
Norwich. I thought they drew Norwich.
No, they drew Manchester United.
Oh, did they?
Uh-huh.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a good game.
You know what? I figure Man U's
Comes in
gonna give 'em a
handy that
run.
Andy Robertson didn't get that red.
Quite handy, doesn't it? You're just poking the fucking bear.
I am.
All right, so it's time for me to right the ship, as I am now back to being minus 761, which is my highest number. I've never been over Mount 800, unlike you, who has mounted a
Mel.
small national debt.
Hit the button.
And here's what happens.
Sam's Lock of the Week.
I just had to get it over
I'm
with.
tired of him talking shit about me.
I actually win bets. You've won. I mean, I've at least...
Occasionally, you're down almost $1,000.
I'm not down as much as you are, and I've at least won hundreds of dollars, where you have not won $100 yet.
Hey,
He
listen,
is
I
down less than half of what you're down.
got a nice roast dinner out of my 33 pound I won.
I'm going to actually bet my own team this week. I don't normally do that,
All right, Pete Rose.
but
Bringing it back to the baseball chat.
I'm betting Dominic Calvin-Lewin to score at any time at plus 185.
Huh. Interesting.
Tim or Richie, one of the two of them is scoring.
Probably Richie.
Yeah. But I mean, Lewin is tied for the team in scoring with Richie.
With Richie,
yeah. And he's been on. I mean, the last couple of games he hasn't scored, but
before that, he was on a tear.
He was on a fucking tear.
Over the
so-
festive period, he was on a tear. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he put away five and like
3 goals and 2 for sure.
Yeah, it was like 5 and 4 matches. So
Yeah.
he's been on. He's been finding the net. Ancelotti feels a lot of confidence in him.
And still played well, even though he didn't score in the others. That's the other thing. I mean, those last 2 games that he did not score in, he played very well.
You'll see Ancelotti pull Richie. You'll see Ancelotti pull Walcott or Bernard or
He never
Sigurdsson.
pulls Calvert-Lewin.
He never pulls Calvert-Lewin. He's gonna leave him up there and he's gonna let him ride it out. I mean, he likes what he's doing. So
He's left him out there with Moise Ken.
yeah, he leaves him out there. So I like what I see. I think he's gonna get a goal this weekend. Now,
All right. I just
Pretty-
need y'all to win.
pretty great. But we can do better
I guess we could.
because we give you a chicken.
A chicken? That's disrespectful, Mel.
She is Kitty the chicken.
I know.
Disrespectful.
I'm saying as a whole, we have a chicken picking fucking games. Who has a chicken picking games?
Well,
And the chicken is 500, which we fucking, by the way, aren't.
Yeah. Maybe y'all should hang out with Pat and the chicken a little more often. So,
Fuck
interesting news about the chicken. Speaking of Miss Kitty, I went up to the coop to visit her this week, and
Yeah.
she was sitting in her brand new swing reading a book. Men are from Mars, chickens are from Venus.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure she ended things with her boo.
Her and
She don't like
Jamie.
losers.
Wow.
She don't stomach
Ooh.
losers.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Kitty's right. When you only got 2 left in the tank, years left in Jamie Vardy's career, you
Yeah.
got to make them count.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this week, I like that. I like what you did there. This week, I gave her Norwich home to Bournemouth.
By the way, Dom would correct you. It is Norwich. It
Norwich.
is not a sandwich. It is Norwich.
Norwich.
So this week, I gave her Norwich home to Bournemouth. Kitty showed me a picture of her with none other than Seth Rogen and Hugh Jackman. They were
Wolverine
all-
and Pineapple
Yeah.
Express High Man.
She was their +1 collectively at the Golden Globes.
Oh, and I know.
Also wanted in North Korea. Seth Rogen.
I know Kitty's politics. Kitty was probably fucking like wing pumping when Gervais was telling them all to shut the fuck up and thank their God.
Yeah,
He
Kitty.
said, come up here and accept
Kitty
your
and
award. Thank
Ricky
your
are
God.
old
Fuck
friends.
off.
Now, seeing that Seth loves his cherries and that Hugh is a dyed-hard canary, Kitty must be picking a draw in this one. So there you go for the Norwich. Norwich.
Norwich.
To prove you I can do it, I just don't wanna. For the sandwich game, Kitty is picking a draw.
I'm mad you have your hat on from my comment during the break.
I do. He said my hair looked funny, and I got insecure.
And
A
as,
colder
I had the
Einstein.
Einstein hair of
and as,
producers.
as
and
we
I,
close out this segment, honey, as always,
always remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
Oh, she took the notes.
unlike us. I was in Orlando.
We suck.
I was drinking a lot.
We drank a lot over the break, apparently, and did no run at all. And we lost our legs after about 15 minutes, spotted them a 5-goal lead.
That would be the fourth time we've done this season.
Yeah, but this time was bad. Like, 4 of us gave the ball away 9 yards from goal on a 42-yard field.
Sam, did you turn around and lead one of their strikers with a pass going towards
No,
goal?
that was Craig.
Oh, okay. Very good.
That was Craig, who tried to nutmeg someone on the edge of the box about a yard from Jake.
That's good. Craig doesn't listen, so let's talk shit about him. I'm surprised he didn't dive and try to get a call.
It was bad. It was very bad. No, we did that, and then we couldn't get it back. I got bitched at for being an old school person.
By the other team?
Now, were you
Yeah.
called old, or
No,
were you?
no. Guy, ball was bouncing. He did one of the little flicks over his head, right? I'm old and not very quick.
Put a
so
shoulder through him?
No, it took me an extra step, but I jostled back into position. He took the ball on his chest, and I proceeded to attempt to get the ball.
Oh, a.k.a. go through his back.
I kicked him in the chest.
Okay, very good.
Then he was like, "What the when I finally got called for the foul, he was like, "You fucking kicked me in the chest for it, bro." And
Oh,
I was
he
like,
broed you?
I was like, the ball was there, and he was like, "Fuck you mean the ball was there? You don't kick somebody in the chest." I was like, "I do, because the ball was there." That's why I didn't get a card. I just got called for a foul because the ball was there.
Did he say, okay, boomer?
That was my line.
No, I don't have as many grays as you.
Yeah.
I did not get called a millennial, thank God. But I kicked him in the chest, and he took exception, and that was that.
Bruh, not cool, bruh.
Yeah, why you do that, bro?
Bruh,
Oh,
can't
man.
we all just be
You know
friends?
what? Can't you just be serene like a wave in L.A.?
So 2-4-1, we missed the playoffs.
I don't know why
unfortunately.
Surfers was the
I
first
don't
thing I
know.
thought of. I don't know.
I was letting you go there.
I don't know. Fuck that guy.
All right,
He's a bitch.
You know what?
He's a ginger too. Made me hate him even more.
It was a shit year for
Can't trust him.
for
Oh,
us.
fuck
So
gingers.
Smokey's a ginger. That's great. Go ahead.
He's not a ginge.
It's like gingerbread is his name on.
I've seen pictures of him.
No, he doesn't put pictures of himself on Twitter.
Bullshit.
He never does. I'm telling you.
Not
he
on
doesn't.
Twitter. He doesn't. You talking about Chris?
No, Chris and Ginger are two. Chris and Smokey are two different people.
Who's Smokey?
Gingerbread on Twitter. One of our West Ham guys.
I don't mind the Twitter. Who's that?
Okay, he's one of our regulars.
Okay.
He
Is he in the football club?
No, because he doesn't really do the Facebook thing.
Oh.
A little bit of
Well,
an
then
odd-
there you go.
Well, then
We
how am
wouldn't
I supposed to know?
Yeah.
All right, no offense to Gingerbread.
I call him
Number 3.
I call him Smokey.
Why?
Smokey, because he goes by Smokey Jones.
Smoked gingerbread?
Just
Graham and I are
Listen,
both-
I can't be held accountable for that. I've never seen a picture of the guy. I apologize.
Do you call him
Mate.
Smokey?
that about wraps it up, boys.
I know
and
why.
girls.
I know why
Sammy.
he calls him Smokey.
Sammy, any parting words?
You know what? Really? Not this week.
Okay, good. Because the
Not
parting
this
word
week.
from Mel would be more fucking mute button.
No, I was just gonna say they call him Smokey because his pubes are on fire.
Just
That's a good one. And not
This
super offensive. Only
this is-
kind of
this is
offensive.
what I deal with.
I think I said fuck
this-
gingers.
this
Hers
is
was
what I deal
better.
with.
He has a
Regular-
brush fire in his pants.
No, mute button. Fucking mute button.
And
I'm
then
gonna
she
have to
took it over
listen
the
to
top.
you. I'm gonna have to fucking listen to you on fucking injury time already.
she's
you
been
are
taking
muted
too-
for the remainder of this show.
Listen,
fucking muted.
she's been taking too many pages out of my book.
I'm about
Hey Mel,
to-
that's enough. Good joke. And
I'm
yeah,
about.
fuck that.
I'm about to.
I gotta
fucking
drop a
mute
bomb.
you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, so
All right. Anyway, no offense. I didn't mean that. I've
Okay,
never
just-
seen you, mate.
let's
Sorry.
wrap this shit up, man. This is a train wreck. Absolute train wreck.
That's
Come-
why it's fun, Sam.
This is why Daddy came home because you
Stop
all
going
don't know
out
what
of
the
town.
fuck you're doing.
Stop going out of town. We had too much liberty in the last 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. Whatever the fuck it is.
That's it. Blame it all on me. That's how it's going to work. Fuck off. You're done. All right, boys and girls. That wraps it up for us this week. I'm sorry we went so long. Jesus, we went so long. Next up is injury time. If you want to know a little bit more about it, it's a little preview that we do for the next weekend's games. And you can check that out on our Patreon.
www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow.
All right, kids. Till next week, everybody.
A guten Nacht.
Liverpool might be the best team of all time. My balls.